Jensen Huang built the world's most valuable company, but he was forced to leave his country at the age of 5. He even washed dishes. It is night. A small boy is moving from one country to another with his family. He has no idea what kind of language he will find ahead, what kind of world he will find, or what kind of identity he will have to build. The fear is that when the ground begins to slip beneath your feet in childhood itself, a person never fully feels at home anywhere. And the curiosity is this: can that same child, who at one age had to leave behind his home, his language, and his natural world, go on to build a company whose value becomes bigger than the GDP of many countries? This is where Jensen Huang's story begins. The story of an immigrant child who did not just build a company, but changed the direction of technology itself. According to Reuters, Nvidia became the first company to touch a $5 trillion market value in October 2nd, 2025, although market cap changes every day, and in April 2nd, 2026, it was being reported at around $4.8 trillion. Jensen Huang was born on the 17th of February 1963 in Taipei, Taiwan. His family was middle class. His father was a chemical engineer associated with an oil refinery, and his mother was a school teacher. His childhood was spent not in comfort, but in the middle of change. When Jensen was around 5 years old, the family moved to Thailand, where he studied at Bangkok's Ruamrudi International School. But Southeast Asia was passing through an unstable period at that time. The family understood that their children's future could be safer somewhere else. Then another major decision was made. Jensen and his elder brother were sent to the United States at a very young age. This was not just migration, it was a survival decision made in the middle of uncertainty. For a child, this change may look practical from the outside, but inside it is equally heavy. Reaching America was not the happy ending of the story. The real struggle began there. Jensen was weak in English. A language barrier is not just a communication issue, it also wounds confidence. Later, he said that his mother used to pick 10 English words every day from the dictionary and teach them to him. These little habits later became part of his personality. Discipline, repetition, patience. He reached the US at the age of 9, and at such a small age, he had to adjust while living away from his parents. Many people see the shining part of a success story, but they do not see the child who is remaking himself every day to find a place on new ground. That is why Jensen Huang's story is not only a story of intelligence, but also of adaptation. His early American years were not easy. He was sent to an institution in Kentucky, like a boarding school, which later turned out to be not what the family had thought. Then slowly the family settled in Oregon. Jensen threw himself into studies. He looked different, spoke differently, and often looked the youngest in class. But many times, being an outsider itself becomes a hidden advantage, because such a person quickly understands that the world is not going to give him anything for free. So he will have to make his own place. That is exactly what Jensen did. He started defining himself not through sympathy, but through skill. Later, this same approach could also be seen in Nvidia's culture. No complaint, only execution. No victimhood, only preparation. Perhaps immigrant struggle teaches a person exactly this. Whether the world is fair or not, you still have to stay prepared on your own level. Very few people know that the boy who built Nvidia's future worked at Denny's restaurant in his teenage years. He worked as a dishwasher, busboy, and even a waiter. That means carrying plates, cleaning tables, handling kitchen pressure, working late-night shifts. All this was part of his life. Later, Jensen Huang himself did not hide this phase, but remembered it openly. In 2023, Nvidia and Denny's both even installed a plaque at the booth where Nvidia's founding discussion had later happened. This detail is powerful because it creates a deep circle in the story. The place where he once handled dishes and tables later became the place where he spoke about a $1 trillion vision. This is not just symbolism, it is a story of humility. No work is small if that same work is preparing you to become big. Jensen Huang studied electrical engineering at Oregon State University. This was where the second major turn of his life came. According to Oregon State's official story, it was there that he met Lori Mills, who was his lab partner and later became his wife. Huang himself said that the most important event for him at Oregon State was meeting Lori. This detail makes the story human. Because big founders are often seen only through strategy, product, and valuation, while relationships also play an equally deep role in their lives. During the college years, Jensen was not just becoming an engineer, he was also finding a life partner, building confidence, and laying the foundation for the future. Later, he also completed a master's degree from Stanford University, but his grounding was formed in that same phase at Oregon State. After graduation, Jensen Huang entered the chip industry. He worked at AMD and then at LSI Logic. This phase was very important because here he saw Silicon Valley from the inside. He was no longer just an engineer, but was beginning to understand what the next direction of computing could be. At that time, graphics chips were not a glamorous field. It was not as if everyone was saying that the future belonged to GPUs and that one day AI would run on them. The truth is that in the early 1990, there was a crowd of graphics startups, competition was intense, and survival had almost no guarantee. Later, Huang himself said that when Nvidia started, its chances of success looked almost like zero. But that is exactly what makes entrepreneurs different. They do not move after seeing certainty, they move after seeing conviction. In 1993, Jensen Huang founded Nvidia with Chris Malachowski and Curtis Priam. And this company was born not in a giant office tower, but out of a conversation in a Denny's booth in San Jose. Nvidia's official blog story says exactly that. The founders sat there, discussed, and the dream of a new chip company began taking shape. Jensen was only 30 years old at that time, but his co-founders gave him leadership from day one. That says a lot. Not every founder is an inventor, not every inventor is a leader, and not every leader is a builder. Jensen had all three things together: technical understanding, business clarity, and long-term vision. Perhaps that is why he has remained Nvidia CEO from 1993 till today. In Silicon Valley, remaining a founder CEO for so long is in itself a very rare thing. But Nvidia's story was not shining from the beginning. The company had almost sunk. Around 1997, Nvidia had cash left equal to only about 1 month of payroll. Wikipedia's summary source, which is based on multiple books and historical references, says that Jensen Huang then cut the company's headcount by more than half and focused the remaining resources on Riva 128. This bet could have failed, and if it had, then perhaps today Nvidia's name would have been just a footnote in history. But Riva 128 became a hit. Around 1 million units were sold in 4 months, and that is what saved the company. Later, the internal line, "Our company is 30 days from going out of business," became part of Nvidia's mindset. This dialogue was not meant to frighten, but to keep people alert. Jensen Huang learned very early how to keep a sense of survival mode alive, even in the middle of success. If Nvidia is to be understood, seeing it only as a gaming company is the biggest mistake. It began with graphics. But Jensen Huang understood very quickly that the future of the GPU could be much bigger than games. Parallel processing, scientific computing, data centers, high-performance computing, and then AI. This pivot did not happen in one day. It was the result of years of strategic patience. Nvidia's CUDA platform, GPU architecture, and early positioning in AI infrastructure kept the company ready for the moment when the generative AI boom arrived. Today, in the world of AI training and inference, Nvidia's name is taken almost like infrastructure itself. That is why the company's value skyrocketed. Reuters and other coverage have continuously shown that AI optimism made Nvidia the world's most valuable company. But behind this valuation lies not just craze but decades-long positioning as well. Jensen Huang's leadership style is as interesting as his company. Nvidia's official bio identifies him as founder, president, CEO, but public interviews and profiles repeatedly bring out one thing. He does not like hierarchy much, writes very short emails, and wants information flow to move fast. His style is seen as charismatic as well as demanding. He is candid, fast, and puts great emphasis on detail. Inside him, there is the energy of a salesman, the precision of an engineer, and the urgency of a founder. Perhaps that is why even after so many years, he remains at the center of the company. Many CEOs run a company. Jensen Huang himself creates the company's narrative energy. His presence on the GTC stage, his signature black leather jacket look, and the theatrical clarity of his product launches have turned him into a cult tech leader. One more part of his personal story always attracts people: his relationship with AMD CEO Lisa Su. According to reliable public reporting, Lisa Su and Jensen Huang are relatives. More specifically, they are first cousins once removed. This detail appeared in Yahoo Finance's 2024 reporting and in public bios. This makes the semiconductor world even more interesting because both are big faces in the global chip race. But even more interesting than that is the fact that despite the family connection, both built their companies through different paths. This rivalry is not a story of personal drama, but of professional excellence. And perhaps this is where the maturity of the tech world is also visible. Competition can exist, and respect can remain alongside it. In Jensen Huang's world, there is emotion, family, heritage, but decision-making ultimately rests on execution and market reality. Today, people see Jensen Huang as the black leather jacket icon of the AI era. But behind this image is hidden an immigrant child, a struggling student, a dishwasher, a young engineer, a risk-taking founder, and a near-bankruptcy survivor. That is what makes his story powerful. Many people are impressed by the company's market cap, but the real inspiration lies not in the valuation, but in the trajectory. A child who changes countries at the age of 5, struggles with a new language and a new culture at the age of 9, works restaurant shifts in his teenage years, studies engineering in college, then builds a career in the chip industry, and finally creates a company that becomes the global backbone of technology. This story is not easy, it is earned, and earned stories are the ones that endure the most. What is the biggest lesson in this story? Perhaps that big people do not suddenly become big. Many small, difficult, quietly endured phases keep gathering inside them. Jensen Huang washed dishes, learned a new language, saw rejection, carried out layoffs, faced near collapse, and still did not leave the game. That is why Nvidia's story is not just a story of the AI boom. It is a story of resilience. It is the story of a mindset that says that even if the odds look close to zero, one must still try with full force. And perhaps that is why today, when the world looks at Nvidia in amazement, many people see Jensen Huang not just as a CEO, but as the face of perseverance. The company's value will go up sometimes and come down sometimes. But the core message of this man's journey will probably always remain the same. Your origin can be small, your beginning can be hard, but if your vision is big, then even a dishwasher can become the architect of the world's biggest company. If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.